Be prepared to sit back, relax, and stir, stir, stir. Today we're going to play around with lemons, granulated sugar, and egg yolks and build something that I like to call, well, everybody does, lemon curd. It's one of my all-time favorite fillings for cakes, tarts, you name it. So let's get started. So today we're going to use quite a few egg yolks, granulated sugar, lemons, hiding back there is some cold butter, some lemon oil, and a variety of tools, including measuring cups, measuring spoons, and heat-resistant spatulas, a whisk, definitely a zester, and my favorite, the juicer. We're going to begin by zesting our lemons. Get yourself a bowl that will hold your zester. Grab your lemon, freshly washed of course, and make sure you do have a real zester, a lemon zester, versus a Parmesan cheese grater. I have seen those erroneously used before. And we're going to scrape back and forth along that line. Our goal is to take the zest off without getting into the pith. What's the pith, you say? Well, it tastes like the pits. The pith is this white stuff, and it's very, very bitter. We don't want that in our lemon curd. We really just want the soft yellow portion of the outer layer of the lemon. Now for this batch I need at least 4 tablespoons. Sounds like a lot, but you'll get about a tablespoon or so per lemon. So 4 to 6 lemons will do fine. Don't forget to get all the goodness, not that was the bad stuff. Don't forget to get all the goodness that's hanging out on the bottom of your zester. Once you get that lemon zested, just slide it aside and move on to the next one. Remember, we just want the base outer coating, just that little bit of yellow off the top. If you get too far down, you're going to get into the pith, and the pith tastes the pits. Now for this batch, with these 16 egg yolks, we need at least 1 full cup of lemon juice. So I'm going to take just a moment to rough up these lemons just a little bit. This was a trick I learned in order to break up and make squeezing the juice out a little bit easier. You're going to first just roll the lemon with a bit of pressure across your tabletop surface. Now, these guys do get slick and they might go flying off. So 2 hands, 1 hand, palm it, put the other palm on top of it, and just roll back and forth, and you'll start to feel it loosen up. Cut this guy right in half. Watch your fingers. And then move to the juicer. Electric juicers are fantastic. There's a juicer attachment. You just take the lemon and presto, you have juiced it. I also have a pulp selector, which I love. So right now it's set at max pulp. I really don't want much pulp. I'm going to set it down at minimum. One down, 40 to go. Just kidding. Well, I'm at 4 ounces, so I'm about halfway there. Now that that's all done, we just pop the top off of this guy, clean up all of that mess, and you see it captured all the pulp and seeds for me, so I don't have to worry about that. We just pop that piece out and wash them individually. I'm going to take a second to clean up my mess, and I'll come right back to you. All right, the next thing I want to prep is our cold butter. We need to go ahead and cut this up into small pieces, so as we add it, it will easily melt. But it is important that this is cold, so the butter chunks will be added slowly to our lemon curd mixture as one of the very last steps. So I'm just going to break this up into small pieces. Nothing fancy. Don't feel like you have to get perfect dice or anything like that. I have never said I had nice knife skills. That's on my wish list. to learn great knife skills. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna put the little pieces back into my bowl. So our saucepan has that small amount of water inside, and we're going to bring that to a slow simmer to gently cook our curd. Turning on the heat to my stovetop burner, I'm going to let this come to a simmer as I continue to combine the sugar and the juices and the zest all in this bowl. Using a whisk, I'm just going to take a moment to break up these egg yolks and add half of my granulated sugar. Continue whisking to combine that really well. And then, once the majority of that's in, go ahead and add your 1 cup of lemon juice. Just stir it all in one go. Add your remaining granulated sugar. I don't dump it all in at one time because it just coagulates and gets stuck in a ball. So I found dividing it in half works best. And then add your 4 tablespoons of lemon zest. Whisk to combine, and you're going to maintain a low simmer until this reaches 165 degrees. It's important that we hit 165 because that's our bacteria killing temperature. That's how we make sure nothing bad's going to grow in our lemon curd later on. We're going to continue holding that 165 degrees until this thickens up to coat the back of a spoon. So we want it to thicken up. As you can see, this is just a light simmer. We don't want this a roiling boil. And this process takes a while. It can be anywhere from 20 minutes to even up to 30 minutes depending on the size of the batch. So be prepared to sit back, relax, and stir, stir, stir. And I can see this is beginning to thicken up. I see it especially on the outside edges, right around the outside of the bowl. So now I'm going to take my thermometer and see where we land on temperature. Remember, our goal is 165 degrees. That's the safe zone for any kind of curd or egg-based custard. So we have definitely reached 165. Looks like we're heading up even higher. So it's definitely time to turn this burner down. Remember, we want to hit 165, that's a safe zone. If we go a little bit above that, that's no problem. If we go too high though, we're gonna begin scrambling eggs. So we're gonna turn this down and maintain the temperature at 165 and continue to stir. Stirring's really important. We're gonna stir until this finishes thickening. If we were to stop stirring, then essentially we would end up with not scrambled eggs so much, but definitely like a scrambled yolk that's gonna hang out on the bottom of our bowl. We don't want that in our curd. Nope. You can always strain out any scrambled egg, but you'd also be straining out all of the lemon zest, which we worked so hard to put in here. And this is when being ambidextrous becomes quite handy. The next test for doneness is to see if we can get this curd to coat the back of my metal spoon. And it does. So this has evaporated enough liquid that it will set up into a nice lemon curd. You can actually over evaporate the liquid, and what you'll find is that the crystals begin to form in your lemon curd. So basically crystallization starts again. So I'm going to turn this completely off now. We can pick it up, remove it completely off of the heat. I'm now going to add my extra extract because I love flavor punch in this. I absolutely love to have extra zing in my lemon curd. So I have 100% lemon oil here, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon, that's all it's gonna take, to punch up this lemon curd even more. See, that's already starting to coagulate. That's a tough word to say. Look, it's starting to thicken. Yay! And now we start with the butter. So we're going to start by adding just a little plop of butter at a time and stirring it in and letting it dissolve. Now, initially this is going to be really hot. It's going to be easy to melt the little chunks of butter. If we throw all of the butter in at once, it's going to become a greasy pool. It's going to be a very greasy, nasty mess, and it will actually form little puddles of butter oil and butter fats inside the curd. So we're going to do this slowly. The butter adds a silkiness and a richness to the lemon curd, so don't think about skipping this step. Now, if you don't like pulp at all, let's say you're not into having the zest texture in your curd, you could strain this. You could definitely strain this just before you start adding the butter. If you find that your lemon curd cools off so much that it will no longer incorporate the butter chunks, stop. It's better to have a little less butter than to have chunks of butter hanging out in your curd. This is a very acidic filling, meaning it will react to certain pans and dishes. You don't want to store it in anything that's aluminum. The best method of storage is in your refrigerator in a glass container. If you don't have a glass container, well, I guess you could use stainless steel for a while. You could also use plastic, but note that this will pick up any impurities, like the onion scent that might have been in your plastic before putting the lemon curd in it. We are almost done. And just like that, we have beautiful, delicious lemon curd to use in a wide variety of ways. Thanks for joining Artisan Cakes. It was a lot of fun having you here, and I hope you learned something new. And I can't wait to see all of the wonderful recipes that you create using lemon curd.